Hello everyone, this is Latasha Blanton from the Real South Africa Travel and Tourism. And you're going to have the opportunity to travel with Phil Scott to
sunny South Africa. You guys are going to have the opportunity to come to Johannesburg, and you guys are going to be coming to Durban. And we're going to set it up perfectly. It's going to be like a luxury experience for you guys. At the same time, you're going to be getting some culture. And of course, you're going to get an opportunity to talk to Phil, hang out with Phil, and get his views on Africa and South Africa.
You're also going to get an opportunity to explore the lifestyles here that are available in South Africa. And we're going to do all that for you in an amazing 10 days. We do hope that you go to the website and book, because we do look forward to seeing you here.
Absolutely. Our website is therealsouthafrica.com. Go there, scroll down. You'll see a picture of Phil, and just go ahead and book there. So we'll see you here in what we like to call sunny South Africa.
Recently, residents in a New York City neighborhood, Marine Park, said that they have had a lot of migrants go into their neighborhoods and knock on the doors to beg for food, clothing, and money. And they said a lot of times they can't understand them because they don't speak English. And one couple said, listen, we don't mind helping people. We'll give the shirt off of our backs, but we do have a problem with some of the ones that are showing up with ankle monitors on. They said that's scary, right? And one man told the New York Post this: there's definitely an invasion of immigrants from Floyd Bennett Field in our neighborhood, and I see them sitting outside the stores, outside the mall, and going around to all of the houses in the neighborhood, knocking on the door, looking for money. So, as he said, they are going from the Floyd Bennett Field, a military base, into the Marine Park neighborhood. Now, the Marine Park neighborhood sounds like it's a pretty well-off neighborhood where them folks live. And as he said, you know, when we go to the malls and stuff, we don't want to see them, right? And then definitely we don't want them knocking on our doors. Well, again, there in Marine Park, you have the Democrats to blame for that, because they're the ones that champion for the open border policies. They're the ones that did that. They said, hey, everybody come on in. But they didn't really have a plan. They had to dig into their funding that was supposed to be for the city, whether it's Chicago or it's New York City or wherever, right? The Democratic cities. They had to dig into their own funding for everything else to help the migrants, leaving the residents without any funding. Never mind the homeless residents of places like New York City or Chicago. They weren't really getting all the help that the migrants are getting. But they didn't plan. And so now you got the migrants leaving the shelters, and they're going into the neighborhoods, and they're knocking on the door for food, money, and clothing. Now, listen, I don't care who it is. I never want to hear about anybody being hungry. That does something to me. But again, that is the failure of the Democratic Party to open up the gates, say, come on in, and not have a way to help them. Now, I know that they have tried, but they're running out of money, right? And so when you think about migrants, they don't come over with most of them don't, right? A boatload of money, and they come set up shop and they're self-sufficient. They depend on the government for help. And so in this case, the migrants there in New York City that's been housed at that military base don't sound like they're really getting all the help, because I would imagine that it takes a lot for you to be in a foreign land and to go into a neighborhood and knock on the door and say, hey, however you saying it to them, do you have some food? How about some money, right? And that would take a lot for you to do that. And so the next time that, whether you're black or you're white, and you go to the polls, think about who you're voting for. Are you voting for a party that's going to do something so reckless and irresponsible as far as open up the borders and let people come in and get all the resources? And when all those resources are gone, now those people are like starving and they're going into the neighborhoods. Think about that. Am I going to potentially vote for somebody who's going to do that? Am I going to vote for Mayor Brandon Johnson there in Chicago, who, you know, told black people, yeah, I got to look out for you. But then the minute he get in there, he ain't looking out for them. He looking out for the migrants and telling them, well, we need to stand together. Stand together for what? You ain't stood together with black people yet, but now we supposed to all stand together to help the migrants. The migrants should be where they're supposed to be, and that's back home, until they can figure out their situation there. But they definitely should not come over here and expect for everybody to stand together We trying to stand with black people. You know, black people here in America still asking for reparations. We ain't got that, but yeah, we supposed to stand together with other people who ain't supposed to be here? No, that's not how that works. And so I would say good people there in Marine Park, New York City. Yeah, it's frustrating to have them wandering throughout your neighborhood, but think about how the black people feel there in Chicago. That, you know, not only are they wandering into the neighborhood, they're being brought into the neighborhood and even told, well, you know what? I know we told black people we're going to take that high school and we're going to open up a boys and girls center, but nah, scratch that. We're going to make it a shelter. Now, the people in Chicago said, nah, y'all ain't going to do that either. Doesn't sound like that went through. But the people in Chicago are constantly fighting with the politicians there, the city council, mayor, Brandon Johnson, everybody else, about not taking from them to help the migrants. And to the tune of, hey, they said they're going to flip Chicago red. They even said we don't want to be a sanctuary city anymore. But the city council was like, too bad. We're going to be a sanctuary city. So anyway, hopefully y'all get it resolved there in New York City. But in the meantime, you ain't got to answer the door when they knock. Pretend like you don't hear them. So for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel and my channel, The Demetra K Show, here on YouTube.